for money. This is a special program about, well, our first responders of Kalibo. We profile our first one, and we wanted to do a series of them, and Terrence Toriano was our first, and he'll be doing a series as well. I guess we just like to show the love to everyone that's doing such a good job. I think a lot of people don't realize behind the scenes what's happening. There's the food packaging, there's the rice, packing all the food in hot sun, delivering the food, there's going to calls, monitoring people, checking, monitoring them inside the city hall. There's people constantly working on new changes, meetings at the last minute. Our vice mayor has done a great job, as well as the mayor, with all the crew, with the meetings, trying to figure out what's best. And it's so organic, it's been changing so quickly, and to come up with the right scenario of rules and regulations without infringing on people's rights and our citizens here. The Filipinos, my wife, and she's a proud Filipino, and she is so happy to be here in Kalibo because of the hard-working first responders. Her sisters, and she's in Manila, and she's a nurse, and she's quite worried right now. She's got to get dressed up in all this gear, and it's hard for her to even eat, or let alone go to the bathroom. I think people are maybe complaining too much when they're at home and they can't go out shopping and don't realize how hard it is for these nurses to get through a day, and how many patients that she's seeing every day. And these nurses, they just can't take the gear off. They have to keep it on, and not to mention the human factor of them being afraid, just like you and me. I went through the city to get some stuff, and yeah, the town is still pretty empty. It was started off with a bang, and so I really wanted to spend some time covering what means a lot to me, what I've seen versus other places in the world, which is amazing. Some of the crazy things that are happening, and how good things are happening here. And I'm sure Dr. Cynthia Dela Cruz is not getting much sleep, and she puts all her decisions around God and what's right for the people, as well as the governor. I'm sure they've had some, I know they've had some meetings, and she writes what's the latest, and she thinks about it, as well as Terrence and all the different people that are involved with the decision making. So we got the nurses, we got the workers that just sit there and pack the rice, pack the food, who send the money out, organize the lines. Every day they're giving out support money. The people that are doing it are risking, our first responders. They're risking their life being outside in the hot sun. There's just an incredible amount of work that's been going on behind the scenes that I think a lot of people don't realize. And that's one of the reasons me and Shaw wanted to do this series, and we're looking forward to maybe doing some interviews, but I think you're going to get a good response from Terrence, because he's right in the battle of things, and his video shall be coming out pretty soon, and he's done a great job, and I'm sure he'll get the good insight. But as a person experiencing from the outside, I mean, I sailed many oceans in my life and been upside down, and I know what it's like to feel death, and it's not a good feeling. And getting the coronavirus, it's so easy for people to think, oh, it's fake, or whatever they're saying in these protests. It's just amazing. One thing that me and him share is that, and unless you're on the other end of the situation, like being rescued or having to be needed help, or in a life or death situation, it feels a lot different. A lot different. That's why I always end my shows, fair winds, falling seas, and clear night skies, because that's what a lot of the Coast Guard use. And I had on my radio show for 6 years, the Coast Guard, and we ended up saying it every week, and it became a trademark because I felt very lucky to be alive. I've been through 3 Category 5 storms in a sailboat, and I'm still here today. Yeah, I'm very lucky. God's been watching for me. And that's something I'm trying to get across. The people that are getting the virus, it's easy to sit at home and not think of what they're feeling like. And that's the reason why these decisions may seem hard at times, but it's really hard for the town and the city to keep everything organized, just getting the money out to the people, getting the food, the janitors that have to clean the municipal hall. There's just probably there's hundreds of first responders that deserve their recognition, and that's why I think the white flag has been an awesome idea, and I encourage everyone to keep flying the white flag. And I, personally, I've never seen so many dedicated people, and I'm very fortunate to be here. And my wife is a very anchor in my life, and I've gone through a lot of traumatic experiences. And like I said, when your boat's upside down and you're standing in 3 foot of ankle feet of water and your dog's looking at you like, what are you doing? And there's a storm raging out there, and a Coast Guard sent a C-130. They can't see you. They're throwing a parachute with supplies, and they can't fly any lower because the storm's too bad, and they think I'm dead. And then the EPIRB went off, and I found some batteries and rehooked it up, and it was a Class B, which is a different type of EPIRB, which they didn't have back, which they don't use now, and like the 406. And EPIRBs don't turn back on. Well, mine turned back on, and I was very fortunate that a Japanese car carrier, empty car carrier, was coming by, and I really didn't want to be picked up because everything was fine. I mean, I was wet, I was soaking, but I was sailing, and I was surviving. And of course, I'm very stubborn, and I had my dog with me, and I wasn't going to leave my dog, so I'm very determined. Maybe that's not the best choice, but we all have choices, and we make them. But definitely the choices of the nurses and what these first responders have to go through is not their choice. It's their call for duty, or it's their job. And they're human beings just like you and me. And you're sitting there going, wow, that sounds terrible. Well, they go home, and every day they go to work. They probably, the ones I talk to, especially the nurses, says, I just don't know if I'm going to come home and give something to my kids. So that's one of the reasons it's so important to honor the first responders. And it's not over. Definitely, it's not over. I pray to God that it's over. But I think this is a good time to thank them, and we'll continue to thank them, because without them we would be in much worse shape than we are now. And as I see it now, talking with Terrence Toriano, that we are in pretty darn good shape, and they're monitoring any cases, and so far so good. And it's changed. It started off with a bang. I saw a lot of people are everywhere. And now it seems like everyone's just back into place again. Like, I'm going to stay home. I'm going to get my food, and I don't want to give my kids something. As they hear on the news all over the world, it's getting pretty crazy. And so I don't want to repeat myself over and over, but the Kalibo city has so many first night nights a lot of people have to do to come up with the right solution, and think about empathy as well as some structure and discipline and aggressiveness to fight this disease, and hope the people that they're serving understand their decisions. And I think our city of Kalibo and I've said it many times, our mayor and the risk reduction office, everyone has done a superb job. So this video here for me is to let you know, and for me and Shaw to say thank you personally, for me and Shaw, for taking your life and helping others, as well as Shaw's sister every day. She's getting tired now, and she's never complained, and she's just getting tired. I mean, when you got to wear this plastic outfit and you can't, you know, to get a drink of water, you got to go somewhere. I'm not sure exactly the procedure, but you can imagine it's got to be safe, and you've got to take everything off in a correct way, and not to mention go to the bathroom, the heat. Oh gosh, and how many patients they have to see, and then they go home, and you still start thinking how you're laying down and you're getting a cold, and you feel kind of bad, and you start wondering, gee whiz, I wonder if I got something. And that must be a horrifying, not a horrifying, but just an existence of dedication that they have to endure. Like Terrence he has to go home to not his home. He has to be away from his family until this is all over. So I can go on and on. I feel lucky. I'm with my wife. We're in our home, and I'm trying my best with the J Shaw channel to be a contributor, not a complainer, and to help everyone. And she's Filipino. She's lived here all her life. Like, I'm part of the family, and and there's a birthday party before this all happened, and I was welcome everywhere, and even to this day, when I walk down the street, I don't know how many people know my name and wave to me and Shaw, and you know, to get a chance to meet the vice mayor, the way she treated us. Not name dropping, but it was a really wonderful experience. We hope to continue when things get better and give you a lot of great news and good stories about Kalibo, because this is the town that we love, and Sharon has been here her whole life, or Shaw we call. So J Shaw Live, yeah, in the studio here. This is our studio. You'll see more live or recorded radio format shows right from here with some really cool guests. We're just being a little bit restricted now because of of course, the quarantine and getting people here. But I think next week we'll have a surprise guest for you. And thank you very much. And that's about all I can say today. So wake up tomorrow morning, and all your first responders, be thankful that you are our hidden heroes. My first one was Terrence, and the rest of them, there's plenty of them, and he will cover some more, and you will see them because he's right there. So God bless, always pray, and stay home. Fair winds, falling seas, and clear night skies. Good night all.